threw us off. I'm back again. Let me talk to you about what is happening, what is going on. We're live, we're up for now. Equality of the sexes. Come on, isn't that a myth? I'm not talking about the genteel days when men opened doors for women, put their coats over mud puddles. I'm talking about today, where the All Men Can Burn in Hell Club is all the way to Washington, D.C. Over the decades, equality between the sexes, it's done a backflip. Okay, there probably was a lot of anti-woman sentiment decades ago. Does that justify flipping it back and screwing the men instead? Come on. The glass ceiling isn't there. It's been shattered for a long time. And DEI programs have empowered women against men as never before. DEI and affirmative action have been the sledgehammer that broke the glass ceiling. Gone are the days when women faced the outright prejudice of men. The glass ceiling, long shattered by DEI programs, has empowered these women against men as never before. Even today, right now, I can name 26 colleges and universities in the United States that are for women only. But I can only name 3 men-only schools in the country, not counting religious seminaries. Interestingly, those 3 that I'm talking about, the men's, they're involved in litigation right now, being sued by women's rights groups saying we have a right to go to that school too. I don't see any men's rights groups suing these all-women schools like Barnard College in New York, Wellsley College in Massachusetts, also in Massachusetts, Smith College, Mount Holyoke, South Hadley, okay? And the College of Omaha, Nebraska, the College of St. Mary. The beat goes on. I can name all 26. I'm not going to bother because you get the idea. Let's see how many men's colleges are in the United States. That's right. I said 3. They would be Hampton-Sydney College, Morehouse College, and Wabash College. It sucks, is what it does. I was watching a public service announcement. I hate those things. And it invaded my online, I don't watch broadcast TV. I'm streaming. Here comes this ad for, are you ready? www.shecanstem.com. It's pushing STEM, S-T-E-M. That's science, technology, engineering, math, education for kids. Well, it's great. We need more of that. But this is specifically aimed for girls. Not a guy mentioned there. They got another one with these really weird, I'm talking ugly ass woman. They looks like they peeled their faces off of a comic book where the guy spilled the ink. And they are gathered together in a huddle and showing their thumbs and their weird makeup. And the ad says, these are women leading in business because of STEM. Both of these ads, okay, they're geared toward girls and women. Why isn't there a he can STEM or we can STEM or they can STEM? Why does it have to be she can STEM? I'm not oversensitive to it, okay? I was talking to this bull dyke the other day. She was working on a house, swinging her hammer, had a tattoo of a ship on her arm, typical bull dyke, period. Well, she was all about women's rights, and she hates men. She really has departed from reality, not just because she's a homosexual, which outside the USA is a mental disorder, but because she believes that there is, in America, a systemic prejudice against women. Oh, really? Tell me more. In light of the many DEI hires, look at President Biden. His vice president was DEI. He said so. He said, I'm going to choose a female for, let's come on, his press secretary, his personal aide, his vice president. We even saw admirals and generals plugged in because they were female. You understand? We even use DEI to crew spaceships when they go up. Fact. NASA's DEI screening for astronaut candidates consists of a battery of tests and interviews, all heavily weighted in favor of women candidates. Fact. If theoretically you had a guy and a gal and they were pretty equally matched, woman's got it. If she's slightly below him but acceptable, she's got it. We're not sending our very best into space. We're sending DEI. Their approach brings in people who are not necessarily the most qualified or best for the job, but they are women. Don't ask me. I'm just a girl. We have even seen this in the military. Right, where the Army puts women in harm's way in places where only a man should have gone. A woman soldier stands no chance in hell in hand-to-hand combat, her position being overrun, hauling heavier military equipment like mortar base plates. Come on. Disturbingly, and it disturbs me greatly, the single most common active duty disability, this among women soldiers, is PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder. And when you talk to many of them, they don't have it because they witnessed the tragedy of war, although some have. Many of them have it because they were away from their children, their families, their husband, and after 8 or 9 or 10 months, they just snapped. These were people who should not have been sent. They were never prepared to accept long terms away from home or witnessing the tragedy of war. The reason you don't put women in war, the reasons, fill a book. Russia tried it, they lost their ass. Israel tried it, they lost their ass. The fact is, right now, we're in such a heavy, let's call it femocentric, woman-centric mindset that when we hire women instead of men, because they're women and not men, we no longer think that's wrong. There is no equality of the sexes in this country. None. Period. Over the decades, that's gone, baby. Example after example. Miss Boldyke says to me, well, you know, there was a time when... I said, stop. Time when you're only in your 30s. What the hell do you know? God, I was opening doors for women before you even a gleam in your daddy's eye. Come on. All the excuses they use are outmoded, outdated, inapplicable, not germane to any situation, totally non sequitur. Okay, public school graduates, go through that last sentence, grab your dictionary, and have a good time.